broadcast is presented by authority of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are employed by the Cincinnati Reds Incorporated. Joe, a couple of wins in a row against the Chicago Cubs, now a series against the Cardinals. It'll close out this homestand and, of course, precedes what has to be considered the most important road trip coming up next Tuesday night for the Reds so far this season. And I don't know, maybe you would disagree, but I think it would be mighty important now to start building up some momentum before we move into Candlestick.
Well, Marty, it's always nice to build up momentum regardless of where you're going, and this so happens that we are going to Candlestick, and they seem to have just a little bit going out there, you know. But really, you think of the Cardinals, and gosh, we talk about them, and to this point, a very disappointing season for St. Louis, but you always have to respect the opposition, and certainly we'll worry about tonight's game, and then tomorrow night, and tomorrow afternoon, rather, and Sunday, and then when we get to Candlestick, we'll worry about that. But it'd be nice to go out there with, say, a 5-game winning streak, and Tom has pitched super baseball in his streak of 6 straight, a 162 earned run average in that streak, and he has really come on, as everyone knows, and his last time out, I guess you would call it a finesse game, and he's had a lot of rest, so he should be pumping pretty good tonight.
Well, he's set to go to deal to the leadoff batter, Lou Brock. The first pitch, an off-speed pitch that's down low for a ball, and this game is underway. Seaver'S 7-4 by way of record with a 352 earned run average. Here's a grounder wide of first, backhanded by Dreesen. Danny waves Seaver away. He'll beat Brock to the bag. 1 out. I'll bring up Gary Templeton, the shortstop, and in the wake of, as Joe pointed out, a very disappointing season for the Cardinals as a team. They are 17 under 500 at 23-40. It has been a very mysterious, mystifying, disappointing year personally for this young man right here. Templeton batting only .235 with 13 RBIs, but I guess the thing that is even more surprising than that is the fact that he's committed 20 errors at shortstop this season, and certainly not playing like the Gary Templeton that everybody saw around the National League last year. He grounds a first pitch foul. Brock has bounced to first. Templeton is at the plate. A strike count on the switch-hitting shortstop, and center fielder George Hendrick now moving to the St. Louis on-deck circle. Seaver rocks to the windup. He pitches, and Templeton swings and misses and quickly falls behind at 0-2. This is the 15th start of the season for Tom. He has 3 complete games, and his last 2 outings have resulted in complete game efforts. Low and outside a ball. He beat the Cardinals in going the distance 2 starts ago, 2-1, and then came up with a route-going performance to beat the Pittsburgh Pirates last weekend in Pittsburgh. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield playing Templeton to hit the other way. Seaver with a break-even pitch, and Gary shoots it down the left field line. Foster moving back and toward the foul line, and he'll not have a play. Ball back up into the seats. The Reds defensively tonight go with Dreesen at first base, Morgan at second, Concepcion at short, Rose at third, Foster in left field, Geronimo in center, and Griffey in right. Donnie Werner behind the plate. Holding 2-2 count on Gary Templeton. Seaver checking in with Werner for the sign. He kicks and he fires, and that's bounced toward short. Concepcion charges, has it. Quick running throw. Got him at first base. 2 down. Well, you don't fool around on anything hit on the ground when this young man is at the plate, because he can flat run. Davey charged the big hopper and threw on the run to get Templeton by a couple of steps at first base. Don't forget, Banner Day is coming up at Riverfront 3 weeks from tonight. Now's the time to start work on your banner so you can enter it in the Reds banner parade between games of the Reds-Giants doubleheader. You need information? Just call the Reds office. Hendrick, the 2-out batter, swings and fouls at the plate. George, of course, started out the season with the San Diego Padres just a couple of weeks ago, came over to the Cardinals for right-handed pitcher Eric Rasmussen. Hendrick hitting .223. 5 homers, 17 runs batted in. Seaver has retired Brock and Templeton on ground balls, and he throws a strike 1 pitch to Hendrick. He swings and misses at a pitch down and away, a breaking ball that was well out of the strike zone, and Hendrick had obviously made his mind up. He was going after the pitch, and is down 2 strikes. Reds are 12 over 500 as they begin this series. They've won 37 and lost 25. The pitch, low and outside a ball. Trailing the Giants by 2.5 games. The Reds, of course, with the exhibition game at Indianapolis last night, which they beat their AAA farm club 8-5. The Giants played and won, so add a half game onto that Giant lead. Here's a ground ball to second. Morgan makes the pickup, throws him out, and Seaver enjoys a 1-2-3 first inning. Cardinals are out in order, and after a half inning of play, St. Louis nothing, and the Reds are coming to bat. Well, tonight's game starts off a big weekend series for the Reds and the Cardinals here at Riverfront. There's a 2:15 ball game tomorrow afternoon, and then on Sunday, the homestand winds up on Ken Griffey Poster Day. Every guy and gal 21 and under will get a free 2-foot by 3-foot full-color action poster of the Red Star right fielder. It's a terrific souvenir for collectors. Be on hand. Plenty of seats are available for tomorrow and Sunday, and for your convenience, the Red Stadium ticket office opens at 9 a.m. both days. John Denny, one of the 2 big horses in this Cardinal pitching rotation, the other, of course, being Bob Forsch. Denny owns a 6-4 record with a 267 earned run average with 7 complete games in 14 starts, and one of those route-going performances came against Cincinnati 10 days ago at Busch Stadium in St. Louis when he allowed the Reds 5 hits and 1 run, the Cardinals posting a 4-1 victory. Now, John Denny, not an easy customer to contend with most of the time, and in 4 lifetime decisions against the Reds, he owns 3 wins. Pete Rose will start it off. Pete batting .270, has homered 4 times, has 19 RBIs. A pitch to him just inside a fastball. Kenny Reed's playing wide of the bag at third and a bit in for Rose, who takes a breaking pitch low, and Denny falls behind a Pete. 2 balls and no strikes. Ken Griffey and Joe Morgan to follow, and hopefully more here in the first. Pitch on the way. Pete swings, bounces first base side. That's going to be a fair ball. Took an extremely high hop, but played by Hernandez, and he gets a put out. 1 down. As Griffey comes to the plate, we'll check out the Cardinals defensively for you. It's Hernandez at first with Phillips at second, Templeton at short, Reitz at third, Brock in left, Hendrick in center, Morales in right, and Simmons behind the plate. 1 gone, no score. We're in the bottom of the first. Griffey takes it low and inside. Kenny continues to lead the National League in batting with a .328 mark and also in total base hits with 83. Denny's 1-0 to him. That's below the knees, and Denny falling behind to Griffey 2-0, exactly as he did to Pete Rose before Rose hit that 2-0 pitch on a ground out to first base. Denny kicks and fires. Griffey takes a slow curve that's in for a strike. Terry Tata, our plate umpire. At first, Paul Pryor. At second, Ed Bargo. And at third base, Charlie Williams. Denny ready with a 2-1 pitch. Griffey swings, bounces it hard on 1 hop back to the mound, and the pitcher throws him out. Kenny with a hard 1-hopper right back to Denny. So with 2 out and nothing going on for Cincinnati, here's Joe Morgan. Looks like this guy has finally started to battle back after a very slow start. Saw his batting average dip into the 230s. Morgan has jumped it up to 258 and has hit safely in 6 consecutive games. He takes a high breaking ball. He went to bat 1 time at Indianapolis last night and hammered a long 2-run home run in the first inning to right center. Check swing, ball 2. Breaking ball in the dirt. Simmons runs out in front of the plate to pick it up and deliver it on back to the mound. Denny trying to do what Seaver did in the top of the inning, and that's retire the side 1-2-3. Morgan bounces foul. That will carry on over toward the Cincinnati dugout. So to the Reds' second baseman, 2 balls and 1 strike. Reds have been getting some excellent pitching. Despite losing last Monday night's game to the Chicago Cubs, the pitching was good throughout the series. There's ball 3. Of course, winning Tuesday night's game, 1-0, and coming back behind the pitching of Sarmiento, Tomlin, and Bear to defeat the Cubs 3-1 in the afternoon wrap-up on Wednesday. There's ball 4. Denny misses with 2 high and away fastballs to issue a 2-out walk to Morgan and keep the inning going for George Foster. Foster batting .313 with 14 home runs and 48 RBIs. That latter figure good enough to continue to lead the National League, and also is a leader in runs scored with a total of 43. So Morgan draws a 2-out walk. And Mr. Denny will go to work on Mr. Foster. The stretch and the pitch. Foster bounces to third, played on the hop by Reeds. He'll go to first with his throw, and that's the inning. For the Reds, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on at the end of 1 complete in this series opener with the Cardinals. Cincinnati nothing and St. Louis nothing. At the end of 1 inning of play at Riverfront Stadium, no score, and the Cardinals will be coming with the middle third of their batting order against Tom Seaver, led by Ted Simmons, then Keith Hernandez and Jerry Morales. Now, Baltimore and Oakland getting ready to play a single game in Baltimore tonight. Rick Langford against Dennis Martinez. Interesting sidelight to that game, the Orioles playing the game under protest for possible violations regarding the 25-man limit of Oakland. Well, the first pitch misses low and away to Simmons. Ted batting .316. He's having a fine year with his Cardinal club, as he normally does. He swings and grounds one slowly to shortstop. Davey has it on the bounce, throwing first base, 1 down. So the first 4 Cardinal batters have been retired on ground balls to the infield. 1 to first, 2 to shortstop, and 1 to second. Here's a left-handed batting first baseman, Keith Hernandez. Hernandez hitting .274, has driven in 30 runs, has hit 5 homers. Against Cincinnati pitching in the 2-game set in St. Louis. Had a base hit in 5 trips. Pitch is in the dirt for a ball. Hernandez takes a strike on the outside edge, and it's even to him at 1-1. Seaver delivers, and it's low for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike on Hernandez. And both the Giants and the Dodgers going extremely well right now. L.A. has chalked up 6 wins in a row. The Giants have recorded 6 victories in a row also. There's a called strike, and it's 2-2 now. Cincinnati, having won a modest 2 straight, would like to get involved in a long winning streak. Now would be an excellent time to start it off. There's ball 3, low and outside, so Seaver a full count on Hernandez. We pointed out the Reds 2.5 behind the Giants and 2.5 games in front of third place Los Angeles. Dodgers are 5 back of San Francisco. Ball 4 inside and low, and Hernandez becomes the first Cardinal base runner as he works Seaver for a 1-out second inning walk. That'll bring up right fielder Jerry Morales. Morales hitting .238, and thus far he has been a big disappointment for the Cardinals. He's hit 3 home runs and has driven in 28 runs. And simply been a matter of everything that possibly could go wrong has gone wrong for St. Louis. Seaver delivers Morales a taken strike, a fastball. Talking to Coach Jack Kroll earlier tonight, who was an interim manager with his club for a few games until Kenny Boyer took over after Vern Rapp was fired, and he said as soon as it looks like they've got things turned around for the better, all of a sudden something else crops up and they've got the same problem again. Werner calling for a pitch out, but Hernandez not doing anything at first base. But a long, long way to go. The Cardinals have played 63 ball games, so 99 more to go, and you've seen strange things happen in a much shorter span of time than that, I'm sure. Seaver throws to first, and Hernandez is back. 1 out, 1 on here in the second. No score. The Reds and the Cardinals. Cincinnati infield a double play depth as Tom again drives Hernandez with a throw to first base. Now the long pause at the belt. The runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. Werner's throw down to second, and it goes through Morgan and on into center field. Here comes Hernandez on to third base. Donnie Werner bouncing one in front of second. And Morgan not able to handle it on the bounce as they credit Hernandez with a stolen base and charge a throwing error to Don Werner. So the Cardinals put a runner over at third base on a steal and an error. Hernandez with his fourth stolen base of the season, and that will bring the Cincinnati infield in, especially the right side of Dreesen and Morgan trying to cut off Hernandez at the plate should he try and score on anything hit on the ground by Morales. Seaver glances to third as he works from the full windup. He sends in the 1-2 pitch. Morales strikes out swinging. And Tom Cumming with a high hardwood to make Jerry Morales his first strikeout victim, and that'll bring out third baseman Kenny Reitz. Now we'd like to send along our congratulations and best wishes to all the high school baseball players in the greater Cincinnati area who will be competing tomorrow morning in the annual East-West All-Star Baseball game. The game takes place at 10 o'clock out at St. Xavier High School. Ball is inside. Davey Concepcion playing a very deep shortstop for Ken Reitz. He swings and misses at a pitch out away from him. Reitz hitting .257. Has Hernandez at third base with 2 away. Check swing foul ball. That'll go to the Cincinnati dugout. So Seaver, trying to leave Hernandez stranded at third, came up with a big strikeout of Jerry Morales. And owns the count advantage here against Reitz at ball 1 and strike 2. Okay, the right-hander ready to go to work again. He winds and he pitches, and Reitz takes it just high and outside, 2-2. Seaver has been, in a word, magnificent in this 6-game winning streak of his. At one time, a 1-4 record that has been turned into a 7-4 mark. As Joe mentioned earlier, during the winning streak, Tom has posted a 162 earned run average, giving up 9 earned runs in 49 2/3 innings of pitching, and that's not bad. Reitz swings at a high fastball and fouls it back. Seaver's victories have come against Montreal. He's twice beaten San Diego, Atlanta, the Cardinals, and Houston, or Pittsburgh. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Scoreless here in the second, with the Cardinals having Keith Hernandez down at third base. Seaver wields and deals and misses with a high breaking ball. Well, if he loses Reitz, he'll be working to second baseman Mike Phillips. 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-handed batter levels the bat and waits. A pitch on the way. Struck him out, or did he? No, could not hang on to the foul tip. Donnie Werner, as the ball just got off of his glove. So Reitz stays alive on a holding 3-2 count. Outfield playing Reitz pretty much straight away. Seaver back to the plate, and Reitz takes it outside. So Tom has issued his second walk of the inning. And the number 8 batter in the Cardinal lineup, second baseman Mike Phillips, will step in. Phillips doing a good job in the time that he has been able to get into that Cardinal lineup, hitting .276 with 5 RBIs. Of course, Mike Tyson, at the beginning of the season, was the Cardinal second baseman, but Phillips right now hitting almost 30 points higher than Tyson, and so Mike is the one getting the playing time. As Seaver came to the plate, Phillips threw up his hands and called time, so that pitch will not count. Cardinals have him on the corners. Hernandez at third, Reitz at first. 2 away in the inning. Seaver stretches, delivers. Phillips takes it inside, ball 1. Cardinals threatening in the second inning. Seaver works to Phillips, who 1-0 to the plate, just gets the outside corner for a called strike. That game that Seaver beat the Cardinals in back on the 5th of June, 2-1. Mike Phillips reached Tom for a couple of base hits in that game. Phillips swings and fouls this one off just to the right of the plate. Tom here in the first couple of innings for the most part, staying out in front of the hitters, although he has issued the walks in the inning to Hernandez and Reitz. He's in front now of Phillips at ball 1 and strike 2, and John Denny is the on-deck batter for St. Louis. Phillips, left-handed batter. Tom taking his time. He checks the runners on the corners and comes to the plate. Phillips hits a broken back ground ball to second. Morgan will throw to first base to get the inning ending out. No runs, no hits, 1 error with 2 left. In the middle of inning number 2, it's the Reds nothing and the Cardinals nothing. Reds getting ready to bat in the bottom of the second inning, and before Danny Dreesen steps in against John Denny, we'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
You're listening to the Western Kentucky Giant 94 KTG. 18 hours daily of the best in music, news, sports, and information. Sports coverage is one of our specialties, and we have newscasts all day long. This is WKTG, Madisonville.
Danny Dreesen heading toward the plate, and he'll be the man who will kick off the second inning for Cincinnati. Dreesen batting .302 with 8 homers and 36 RBIs. He'll be followed here in the second by Davey Concepcion and Cesar Geronimo. John Denny allowing a 2-out base runner. Morgan a walk in the first inning, but got Foster to ground out to third. He delivers to Dreesen. Fastball in, strike call. Denny delivers. Dreesen takes it inside, 1-1. 1977, a rough year for John Denny in terms of pulled hamstring muscles. He suffered 2, swing and a foul by Dreesen. Suffered 1 here, and then suffered a worse hamstring pull out in Los Angeles, something that, well, it took forever and ever to finally overcome the one he suffered in L.A. because it was much worse than the one he had here in Cincinnati. So far this season has been injury-free. We talked to him in St. Louis, and he said everything was in fine shape as far as that's concerned. He curves Dreesen, but it stays high, and it is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch. Denny takes another breaking ball, and that's all that Denny, for the most part, has been throwing him is curves and a full count. Denny, like Seaver, will not walk too many people. Here's a grounder hit to the right side, and Mike Phillips is there to play the ball and throw Dreesen out. 1 away. Davey Concepcion will now step to the plate. Davey batting .308 with 2 home runs and 28 RBIs, and Concepcion ranking 4th in the National League in 2 base hits. He's had 17 this season. Ted Simmons of the Cardinals leads the league with a total of 22 doubles. Davey bluffs a bunt on a low curve, ball 1. Jack Clark of the Giants with 18. Pete Rose also up there among the league leaders in that department. A curve ball is high and inside as Davey leans out away from the pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Denny working quickly. David swings at a fastball away and does not get it. 2-1. And look at Denny's statistics, and not hard to understand why his earned run average stands as low as it does at 267. He's given up at 83 hits in 104 1/3 innings of pitching. Swing and a foul. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not a strikeout pitcher by any means. He's fanned 46 this season. But in terms of walks, he's issued but 26. Seaver has issued but 31 coming into this start in 91 2/3 innings. Grounded off the end of the bat slowly towards second. Here's Phillips, quick throwing to first base and got him by a half step. Well, both outs here in the second have been on ground balls to Mike Phillips at second base. That ground out makes Cesar Geronimo the 2-out batter. Geronimo batting .245. 3 homers and 17 RBIs. Cesar did not go to the plate in the 2-game series in St. Louis. Pitches high for a ball. Did get in once as a late-inning defensive replacement, but marking his first trip to the plate this season now against Cardinal pitching. Ball 2, 2-0. Tomorrow afternoon in the 2:15 start, it'll be Bill Bonham against Pete Vukovich. 3 balls and no strikes. And when we close out the series on Sunday afternoon, it'll also be the wrap-up to the homestand. Freddie Norman will go against Silvio Martinez. So all 3 of the Cincinnati pitchers in this series trying to make it 8 wins on the year. Geronimo draws a 2-out walk. Seaver 7-4. Bonham will go in with a record of 7-1, and Freddie Norman Sunday afternoon will carry a record to the mound of 7 wins and 3 losses. Denny, like Seaver, is now walked 2. And he faces catcher Don Werner, batting .163 with 9 runs knocked in. Donnie has done an Iron Man's job behind the plate. As Denny throws to first, he has caught every inning of the Reds' last 17 ball games. Geronimo getting a pretty good lead at first, so much so that Denny throws that way again. Dreesen, Concepcion ground outs, but Geronimo draws a walk. Another throw to first, so Werner is still waiting to look over John Denny's first pitch. The Cardinal right-hander is thrown over to Keith Hernandez 3 straight times. Here's a stretch, the pause, and another quick throw to first, and he threw it away. Here comes Geronimo on to second. John Denny going to the well 1 time too often. Geronimo ending up at second base, and that'll be a throwing error against Denny. Oh, we've had 2 errors already in the game, and both have been of the throwing variety. Donnie Werner charged with a throwing error in the top of the inning. He takes a pitch low for ball 1. So the Reds have Geronimo at second with 2 down. Werner takes it off the plate and high, ball 2. Tom Seaver on deck. Cardinals could not take advantage of the throwing error in the top of the inning. Seaver was able to wiggle out of a first and third jam. Here's a ball fouled off the end of the bat. Hernandez went to third base with 1 down, but Seaver struck out Morales, and after walking Reitz, he got Phillips to bounce out to second base. Now Geronimo taking a good lead out at second, as Denny sends a pitch in, and Werner takes a curve high and inside. 3-1 on the Cincinnati catcher. Denny stretches and pitches. Curve is in at the knees. Strike 2 call. Some of the fans here not particularly in agreement with Terry Tate's call, but a full count nevertheless. Here's a payoff pitch, and that's bounced to third. Here's Reitz with the ball. He'll go to first, and that's the inning. So the numbers for Cincinnati in the second: no runs, no hits, an error with a man left on base, and at the end of 2 complete, the Reds nothing and the Cardinals nothing. Here in the third inning for the St. Louis Cardinals, pitcher John Denny will lead it off against Tom Seaver, and here to call the play-by-play for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty. Denny with a 117 batting average. John, or 177 batting average. He's had 6 hits in 34 times up this year. Tom has struck out 1, walked 2. Delivers to Denny, and the bunt attempt is missed, strike 1. Cardinals and the Reds splitting the 2-game series at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 0-1 delivery. Swung on and missed, and quickly Seaver in front 0-2. Denny winning the Cardinals game over there, and of course Seaver winning the Reds game. 0-2 the count. Seaver winds, and the pitch. Missing outside with a slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lou Brock on deck, and then it'll be Gary Templeton. Seaver back to the plate. Denny swings. Did he go far enough? And Terry Tate says so, the plate umpire. So that's strikeout number 2 for Tom Seaver. 1 away, and Lou Brock the batter. Brock bounced to Danny Dreesen wide to first base in the first inning, leading off the game. And you talk about reasons for the Cardinals' problems. I guess you might throw Lou Brock in. Lou Brock has scored just 17 runs this year. hitting .217. Seaver delivers and Brock swings and fouls. Pointer hangs the sign. And the 0-1 delivery. That's under the knees of ball. 1-1. Seaver shakes off the sign from Warner. And the 1-1 on the way. Outside as Tom takes something off the fastball. 2-1. Well, the Reds have signed 3 more of their draft picks. 2-1 delivery. Swung on, bounced to Morgan. Joe has it, on to Dreesen, 2 away. 2 down, Gary Templeton the batter. The 3 the Reds signed. Latest to sign, number 13 pick Byron Jackson, an 18-year-old right-handed pitcher from Wichita Falls, Texas. Number 20 draft pick James Taylor, an 18-year-old catcher from Charlotte, North Carolina. Pitched to Templeton, and that swung on and missed. And the third one, he was a number 29 draft pick, Alex Neely, 20-year-old right-handed pitcher from Enid, Oklahoma. The 0-1 pitch. Templeton swings and fouls, and quickly Seaver in front 0-2. Tom has struck out 2, walked 2, both walks coming in the second inning to Hernandez and Reed. 0-2 pitch. Templeton swings on it and fouls. Cardinals have won 23 and lost 40. They're playing their 64th game. The Reds playing number 63. Cardinals last year beat the Reds on the season series 7-5. Again, the 0-2 pitch. That swung on and hit to left field. Foster going back, and a step onto the warning track makes the play. Other Cardinals out in order here in the third inning, nothing across, and at the middle of inning number 3, Cardinals nothing, Reds nothing. For the Reds in the bottom half of the third, it'll be Tom Seaver to lead it off, then Pete Rose and Ken Griffey. Tom with a 179 batting average. He has 5 hits and 28 times up, has driven in 2 runs, and Seaver owns 1 double. Denny has not struck out anyone, has walked 2. Walked Morgan with 2 out in the first inning, walked Geronimo with 2 out in the second. John Denny, 6-4 on the year, ready to work to Tom Seaver. A wind in the pitch. Seaver takes it low and outside the ball. Then in the game against the Reds in St. Louis on June the 6th, there's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Allowed the Reds just 5 hits. And no one in the game had 2 for the Reds. Ball 2, low and outside. Joe Morgan had 1. Danny Dreesen had 1 to drive in the 1 Cincinnati run. 2-1 deliveries. Curve for a called strike. Count evens 2-2. And Dave Collins had 1 as a pinch hitter. All right, the 2-2. Pair swung on and missed, and Denny has his first strikeout. 1 away, Pete Rose, the batter. Rose bounced to Hernandez at first base, leading off the game for the Reds. Pete's batting average .270. With 4 home runs, 19 RBIs, 17 doubles, and 3 triples. Then he, working quickly, delivers, and Rose takes it low and inside a ball. One-0 pitch. Swung on, that's bounced to Phillips. Charging at second. Goes on to Hernandez, 2 away. 2 down, Ken Griffey steps in. Kenny bounced hard back to the mound in the first inning. Denny reaching off to his right to pick it up and throw Griff out. 2 outs, base is empty. Denny delivers, Griffey takes. Fastball through the heart of the plate, a strike. talking about last year when the Cardinals beat the Reds on the season series 7-5. 0-1 pitch inside as Griffey skips back. 1-1. That was the first time since 1968 that the Cardinals had won a season series from the Reds. 1-1 delivery. Swung on, bounced over the mound near second base. Templeton has it. Quick throwing to Hernandez, got him. The Reds out in order, and we have yet to hit a ball out of the infield in the first 3 innings against John Denny. Nothing across, and after 3, Reds nothing, Cardinals nothing. The Cardinals in the 4th will send up George Hendrick, Ted Simmons, and Keith Hernandez. Hendrick grounded hard to Morgan in the first inning. George, a .223 batting average, and since being with the Cardinals, that's his overall batting average. With the Cardinals, he's hitting just .188. Seaver ready to go to work to George Hendrick. He winds and delivers the first pitch. Hendrick swings and misses. A pitch down and in. Tom turning the ball over quite a bit again tonight. He still seems to have better velocity than he did in Pittsburgh. The pitch. Slider outside, and the count evens 1-1. One pitch. Hendricks takes. Breaking ball low and outside. 2 balls to strike. One delivery. Hendricks check swing foul, and out into the seats just to the right of the screen. Apparently everyone all right down there. Well, the count even is 2 balls, 2 strikes to George Hendrick. Upfield, shading him around to the right. 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Got him with a good high fastball. 3rd strikeout for Tom. 1 away, and Ted Simmons the batter. Well, you go back to that game in St. Louis that Tom beat the Cardinals in, and he just absolutely blew 5 people away in the last 2 innings, striking out the side in the 9th. And one of them, Ted Simmons. He's at the plate now. Switch hitter, the pitch. Strike call. Simmons, a .316 batting average, 6 home runs, 26 RBIs. Ted has had 22 doubles. 0-1 pitch. Curveball, and that's outside. 1-1. Cardinals tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon. The Reds off Monday. Take off Monday afternoon for San Francisco to open a 10-game road trip. 3 with the Giants, 3 with the Dodgers, 4 in Houston. 1-1. Delivery is just low, and I think Tom wanted that one. Tom goes 2 balls, 1 strike. Keith Hernandez, the on-deck batter. Seaver'S 2-1 delivery. Swung on, a very high pop. That'll come back and out of play. Dropping just in front of us. Not even 2-2 to Ted Simmons. Ted away from the plate. Now steps back in. And Seaver winds, and the 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and hit to center field. Geronimo there waiting on it, and Cesar has it for out number 2. And that'll bring Keith Hernandez to the plate. Hernandez walked in the 2nd inning with 1 out. Stole 2nd and moved to 3rd on the throwing arrow by Don Werner. The ball going on into center field, but was left there as Morales struck out. Reach walked, and Phillips bounced to Morgan. Keith, a .274 batting average. Seaver delivers high with a fastball. Read Tom's lips every time he makes a bad pitch. He kind of talks to himself. 1-0 pitch. Outside and off the mid of Don Werner. 2-0. Tom says, come on, Tom. Now the 2-0. Hernandez swings, ground ball. Morgan has it off to his left. Throwing to Dreesen, got him. Show a good play. A step on the outfield turf to pick it off one-handed, moving to his left, and throws Hernandez out easily, and that's the inning. Cardinals out in order, nothing across. Middle of the fourth, it remains Cardinals nothing, Reds nothing. Well, we got a real pitcher's battle going here at Riverfront tonight through the first 3.5 innings. There's not been a base hit, and John Denny will be facing in the fourth inning Joe Morgan, George Foster, and Danny Dreesen. Morgan walked in the first inning with 2 out. Joe, a 6-game hitting streak. That streak, Joe has had 10 hits in 23 times to the plate, good for a .435 earned batting average, and his batting average up to .258 now. John Denny ready to go to work. He has struck out 1, walked 2. The pitch. Morgan takes an off-speed pitch up high, a ball. Well, the play that Morgan made on Hernandez, the only ball that looked like a base hit to this point. Morgan takes ball 2 high and outside. Denny did make a good play on Ken Griffey in the first inning and a hard 1 bouncer back to the mound. 2-0 delivery. Morgan takes ball 3 low and inside. So good Joe on here leading off the inning. Denny with a good move, though. Tough to steal on him. See if Morgan has the green light. He does, but takes it high, ball 4. So Joe walks for the second time in the game, and that brings George Foster to the plate. Foster ended the first inning by grounding to Reeds at third base. Morgan with 13 stolen bases in 17 attempts this year. Waiting on Foster to settle into the batter's box. Still a good lead. Denny looking to Simmons, has the sign, the stretch. Goes over to first, and Morgan back standing. And he's the stretch. Again a throw over there, and again Morgan is back standing. Well, let's see if Joe gets a little bigger lead this time. He has his normal lead. 1 foot in the sliding fit, 1 on the turf. There he goes. The pitch taken. Simmons' throw is not near in time, and a good save by Gary Templeton. Backing up the play that went to Phillips, and Gary Templeton made a diving stab to save it from going into center field. So Morgan gets his 14th stolen base of the year, and only some good hustle by Gary Templeton keeps him from moving on to third base. The pitch to Foster was low and outside, and the count of ball, no strikes to George. Denny the stretch. And the pitch. Foster takes it high and inside, and the count goes 2-0. Remember Denny on the start of the game from St. Louis talking about hitting Foster. He hit Foster in the head, and he says he's sorry for it, but George really leans out over the plate, and, well, you have to fess him up once in a while, but certainly don't like to do that, but you must let him know you're on the mound. Two the count. Denny the stretch and the pitch. Curveball for a called strike. 2-1. Pitch on the way. That's just off the plate outside. 3-1 to Foster. In the last 4 or 5 ball games, we have watched some excellent pitching both sides here at Riverfront. Actually, it started Sunday in Pittsburgh when the Reds lost to the Pirates 3-1, but good pitching. There's ball 4 outside. So the first 2 have reached here in the 4th inning. Danny Dreesen making his way to the plate, and we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
To keep your midday bright and lively, you need 94 KTG and Holly Kramer. Holly's refreshing outlook will keep you entertained, and at noon there's news of all kinds for your information. It's Holly Kramer, 9 till 2, here on WKTG, Madisonville, Kentucky.
All right, Danny Dreesen at the plate. Morgan second, Foster first. The pitch. Dreesen takes it low and inside a ball. Danny grounded to Phillips at second base, leading off the second inning. Denny checking with Ted Simmons, his catcher. Sets, delivers. Dreesen swings and misses a curveball, and he was right on that one. Count even 1-1 to Dreesen. Then he sets the pitch. Taken on the inside corner, called strike, and that brings the count to a ball, 2 strikes to Dreesen. Dave Concepcion on deck. Talking about the pitching in this homestand, the Monday night game of the Cubs, a 3-2 victory for Chicago. Russell and Bonham in that one. Here's the 1-2, low and inside. Count evens 2 balls, 2 strikes. And, of course, Tuesday night, Freddie Norman and Doug Bear combined to shut out the Cubs 1-0. 2-2 delivery, swung on, bounced back to the mound. To Templeton and on to Hernandez. Double play as Morgan moves to third base. So the double play goes 1-6 to 3. Morgan moving to third. 2 away, and Dave Concepcion the batter. That's the 43rd double play the Reds have been into this year. Davey in the second inning grounded to Mike Phillips at second base. Then he delivers. Concepcion takes it high and inside a ball. Morgan down the line at third. Then he looks over there, winds, and the pitch. Swung on and fouled, and the count evens 1-1. A ball, a strike, the count to Concepcion. Dave with his 1,000th career base hit Wednesday afternoon. Takes from Denny low, and it's 2-1. Denny back to the plate. Curve is swung on and bounced back to the mound. Denny has it on to Hernandez, and that's the inning. So after the first 2 reach, we cannot get them anywhere. Morgan got to third, but that's it. For the Reds, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base, and at the end of 4. Cardinals nothing, Reds nothing. Well, the 4-inning totals are identical. The Cardinals, no runs, no hits, 1 error. The Reds, no runs, no hits, and 1 error. For St. Louis, Jerry Morales will lead it off in the 5th, and back with the activities, Mr. Brenneman.
Okay, Joe, Jerry Morales up in the second inning, struck out swinging, one of 3 strikeouts that Tom Seaver has had so far tonight. Only thing the Cardinals have had remotely resembling a base hit was that ball that Hernandez hit in the 4th inning that Morgan made such a super play on to keep from going into right field and, of course, threw him out. So we've got a dandy going tonight through 4 innings. Here's Jerry Morales now to begin the 5th for St. Louis, and here's Seaver with the first pitch, and that's taken for a strike. Down to the windup, he works and just misses outside. Morales started to go after the pitch, but held back. The count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch on the way. Morales a slow bouncer, third base side of the mound. Rose cuts it off and throwing high, but Dreesen is able to go up and get it and come back down on the bag to get Morales at first base. 1 down. We'll bring up Kenny Reitz. He was a base runner back in the 2nd on a base on balls. Well, the trade deadline came and went at midnight last night. A number of deals made, but I don't think any that you could describe as major deals. Here's a pitch to Reitz. Pitches outside a ball. The San Francisco Giants, the most active of any of the major league clubs, they acquired Houston shortstop Roger Metzger for either player to be named later or cash. Swung on, fly ball. Get into right center field. Ken Griffey and Geronimo both there, and Geronimo will make the play. 2 out. Giants also picked up Jim Dwyer from this Cardinal team as part of a deal last fall that sent pitcher Frank Riccelli to St. Louis. And the Giants acquired the contract of outfielder Hector Cruz from the Chicago Cubs for Lynn McLaughlin. Just talking with St. Louis sports writer Jack Herman a while ago and found out about a trade that I think may well have escaped a lot of people. I know it did us. Here's a pitch low for ball one. Ray Barris going from the Chicago Cubs to the Pittsburgh Pirates for left-hander Jerry Royce. Had no idea at all about that one. Here's a 1-0, swung on and fouled by Phillips. In other deals, the New York Yankees got Gary Thomason from the Oakland A's for outfielder Del Alston and infielder Mickey Klutz. The Indians purchased Bernie Carbo from the Boston Red Sox for cash. 1-1 pitch, swung on, ground ball hit to first. Reason has it. He'll take it to the bag for the putout, and that's all for the Cardinals in the fifth inning. 3 up and 3 down after 4.5. The Reds nothing and the Cardinals nothing. If you're going to be at Riverfront Stadium this weekend, the Reds invite you to stop by the ball club's official 580 gift shop before or after the game. You'll find lots of Red souvenirs, and many are 580 exclusives. Things like the Reds Rooter Pack. This gift item is literally a box full of Red souvenirs. It contains an official team shirt, a Reds cap with an embroidered C, a miniature bat, a Reds Rooter button, a small pennant, a decal, and even a Reds Rooter rag. Stop by the Reds 580 gift shop this weekend, located at the corner of 6th and Walnut in downtown Cincinnati. Well, through 4.5 innings of play, there has not been a run. There has not been a base hit. Tom Seaver has pitched 5 hitless innings. John Denny has pitched 4. It'll be Geronimo who drew the second inning walk to lead off for the Reds, and as the Chief settles into the batter's box, apparently getting something in his right eye because he quickly steps away from the plate. Kenny Reitz will play close at third for Geronimo as a pitch comes, and it's a curveball at the knees for a strike. We were ticking off those trades that were consummated before the midnight trade deadline last night. Mentioned the fact that the Indians purchased Bernie Carbo from the Boston Red Sox. Swung on, line drive, base hit center field. So Cesar Geronimo becomes the first man to reach on a base hit tonight as he lines a pitch up the middle, and that'll bring up Don Werner. The Indians traded Mike Vail to the Chicago Cubs for outfielder Joe Wallace. Then they turned around and traded Wallace to the Oakland A's for catcher-designated hitter Gary Alexander. Geronimo goes, Werner fouls it off. And in another National League trade, the Philadelphia Phillies traded relief pitcher Gene Garber to the Atlanta Braves for right-handed pitcher Dick Ruffin. Nothing of a major nature. Here's a check swing by Don on a curveball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Reds have Geronimo on, leading off the fifth inning with a base hit in this 0-0 game. Werner checking with third base coach Alex Grammas as he stands back in to await the pitching of John Denny. Here it comes. Swung on, base hit left field. Well, Denny got a curveball up, and Donnie lined a single to left. So the first 2 men on are on here in the fifth inning with back-to-back singles from Geronimo and Werner, and you probably can expect what Tom Seaver is going to be up there doing. Seaver struck out in the third. Keith Hernandez went into the mound to talk with Denny, now moves on back to first. He's playing shallow, as is Ken Reitz at third base. Oh, we need that all-important bunt from Tom now to get them both into scoring position, and the pitch is bunted foul as Hernandez and Reitz really come like gangbusters. Scoreboard stopper tonight, the Cardinals won the pennant in 1964, 1967, and 1968. Who managed those St. Louis teams? Two on, nobody out. Reds threatening in the fifth inning. Denny into his stretch. Seaver turns into bunt, takes it low and away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Pete Rose, as you know, in the on-deck circle. Seaver looking down to Grammas at third, steps back in, and Hernandez really playing close in at first base. Here's a stretch in the pitch. Seaver takes it, and it's a strike. 1-2 the count. Of course, a trade that came about very early before the trade deadline. Raleigh Eastwood going to the Philadelphia Phillies from the New York Yankees for J. John Stone and minor league outfielder Bobby Brown. Seaver behind on the count, and he bunts foul, and that's a strikeout. So Denny picks up a big one as Seaver is not able to move the runners along, and with one down, Pete Rose will step to the plate as Denny now comes into the plate to talk with the plate umpire Terry Tata, and now is running over and into the St. Louis Cardinals dugout. So apparently we're going to have a hold-up in the action here as Denny is heading down to the Cardinal dressing room for some reason or other, and we've got a break in the action here in the 5th inning, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. Well, we're back here at Riverfront Stadium, still waiting the return of John Denny from the St. Louis Cardinal clubhouse. Apparently something went amiss in terms of his uniform that caused him to go to the plate umpire Terry Tata and request permission to go onto the clubhouse and correct whatever the problem was. And when we resume play, we'll have Geronimo at second, Donnie Werner still at first base, and now one out after Seaver, trying to bunt, ended up striking out. Updating some scores in the American League. Toronto and Texas playing a twin bill in Arlington, Texas tonight, and at the end of 8 in Game 1, the Rangers hold a 3-2 lead. Rico Cartes hit a 2-run homer to account for the only Toronto runs. Cleveland over Milwaukee, 4-1 at the end of 4.5 innings of play. Heisel a home run for Milwaukee. Grubb a 3-run shot for the Indians. Baltimore on an Eddie Murray 4th inning home run, 1-0 over Oakland. California with 2 in the 1st inning and a 2-0 lead at the end of 2 innings against the Yankees. Boston shutting out Seattle at the end of 3-0. Red Sox are trying to chalk up their 8th consecutive victory and send Seattle down to their 9th straight loss. Other games not yet underway. Kansas City at Chicago. It'll be Larry Gura against Francisco Barrios. Detroit at Minnesota. And, of course, Toronto and Texas will be playing the second game. In the National League, Pittsburgh 6, Atlanta 0 at the end of 2.5. Chicago scoreless in the top of the 1st at Houston. Montreal at L.A. It'll be Rogers against Ralph. Philadelphia at San Diego. Carlton versus Jones. And New York at San Francisco. Zachary against Halicki. All 3 of those games, of course, will be starting a little bit later on. And we mentioned that trade that St. Louis sports writer Jack Herman passed along to us earlier tonight. Chicago's Ray Barris going to Pittsburgh for Jerry Royce, and we understand that was an erroneous piece of information, that trade did not take place. Meanwhile, we're still waiting for John Denny to come back to the pitching mound.
Well, yeah, he'll be back. It takes a little while to make that particular equipment change.
Well, we'll just...
You don't do that like putting a new shoelace in. You understand?
I understand very well, and Mr. Denny is now coming up the stairwell.
Okay. It wasn't all that long.
No.
I just hope he carried a couple base hits out of there, of course.
Well, we hope so. I don't think John's a very popular person right now. The crowd greeting him with a chorus of boos as he goes back to the mound. So, let's see what Pete can do now with 2 on and 1 out. The Reds got their first 2 on in the 4th inning on walks to Morgan and Foster and couldn't score when Dreesen hit into a double play and Concepcion bounced back to the mound. Rose 0 for 2 is bounced to first, is grounded out to second base. Here's Denny with a pitch, and Rose takes it for a strike at the letters on the outside corner. Denny to the belt. There go the runners. Pitch swung on, line drive, base hit, left center field. 1 run is going to score. They're going to wave the runner Werner around third. He's coming to the plate. Templeton's throw, not in time. A 2-run double by Pete. The ball gets through Simmons, and Rose goes to third. Well, the ball hit Donnie Werner as Gary Templeton's throw came to the plate. They charged an error against Ted Simmons.
Marty, the ball actually hit Don Werner as he crossed the plate, and I don't know. Of course, we're not the official scorers, but usually when something like that happens, the player that throws the ball is charged. But the ball did hit Don Werner as he really was a step across home plate, and Ted Simmons had no chance at all to field the ball. He was behind Werner, Werner crossing in front of him, and the throw striking done.
So Pete getting a 2-run double and going to third on an error charge to Simmons. Here is Griffey as the Cardinal infield comes in. It's ball 1. So the Reds lighting this crowd up at Riverfront as the runners were both going, Geronimo and Werner, and Pete lined a double into the gap in left center with both scoring. High with a pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Kenny is grounded to the mound hard and was thrown out by Templeton at shortstop in the 3rd inning. Hernandez, Phillips, Templeton, and Reitz all playing in. Rose is at third base. 2 runs have been scored as the Reds have reached Denny for 3 hits in the 5th. The pitch to Griffey, swung on and looped down the left field line. That's going to be a foul ball into the seats. So Pete coming up with a big 2-run double. And now Griffey trying to get Rose in from third as he stands out of the batter's box. Denny waiting out on the mound for the hitter to get back in there. 2-1 to count. Denny staring in for the sign from Simmons. He picks it up and he pitches. Griffey fouls it to the screen.
Artie, something kind of interesting. I know Pete was talking about RBIs Wednesday in the clubhouse, and that's his first RBI since May the 27th in San Diego.
Wow. Long time between drinks of water for Rose. They gives him a total of 21 runs batted in. Griffey takes strike 3. Fastball in on him.
That can't be right. We're going to look at that one more time.
That's the 3rd strikeout for Denny, and 2 of them have come here in the inning. It brings up Joe Morgan, who's walked twice. The Reds Radio Network brings Reds baseball to fans in 7 states, and you can hear the games in Ironton, Ohio on WIRO, in Kokomo, Indiana on WIOU, in Jamestown, Kentucky on WJRS, and in Bluefield, West Virginia, WHIS. 2 runs in, 2 men out. The Cardinal infield now falls back as Denny comes to Morgan. Joe swings and pulls it foul into the Cincinnati dugout.
We'll retract that statement and say he had 2 RBIs on the 31st of May against the Braves in Atlanta.
Still 16 days.
Sounds a little better.
A little bit.
2 days better.
Morgan takes a curve in the dirt as Simmons goes to both knees to block it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Denny throwing that baseball in, and apparently on the request of Morgan, Terry Tato looks it over and throws it on back to the mound. Denny has worked carefully to Joe tonight, so much so that he's walking twice. Here's a pitch. That's low, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Denny glancing to third, where Rose has his lead, pitches a curve low, ball 3, so he's a pitch away from issuing a 3rd straight walk to Joe Morgan. One on the way. Joe swings, ground ball, fair down the right field line. Keith Hernandez diving to try and stop it. The run is in. Morgan comes to second, head first with a double, and it's 3-0. 3 runs in on 4 base hits. Morgan hitting a rocket down the first baseline, and I'll tell you, give Keith Hernandez a lot of credit because he went all out to try and come up with a ball as it shot by him. With Rose scoring, Joe is now at second, and here's George Foster. Check swing, a ball. They've got a left-hander now beginning to throw in the Cardinals bullpen, Buddy Schultz. Foster shoots one to deep right field, but it's a foul ball. Now the answer to the scoreboard stumper, the manager of the Cardinals, or the managers of the Cardinals when they won 3 pennants in the 60s, Johnny Keane in 1964, Red Schoendienst followed the Cardinal clubs when they won it in 67 and 68. Check of Morgan, the pitch to Foster, swung on, slow ground ball to third, Reitz has it. Here's his throw to first base, that ends the inning. But a most profitable 5th for Cincinnati. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 1 left. After 5, the Reds lead the Cardinals 3-0. Have you made your plans for the 4th of July yet? Well, how about making Cincinnati Reds baseball a part of your holiday? The Reds and the Astros will be at Riverfront for 3 weeknight games July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You'll see some great baseball, and lots more, too. The new Christie Minstrels will entertain before the game on July 3rd. There'll be a spectacular fireworks show after the game on the 4th, and then on July 5th, it's country music night with recording star Bill Anderson. Be on hand for the 4th of July holiday series and purchase your tickets in advance. Now John Denny will come out of the plate to bat for himself as we move to the 6th inning. The Cardinals now trail the Reds 3-0. As Rose doubles across a pair in the 5th and Morgan doubles in Rose. Well, we were talking the other night about the Cincinnati Reds tryout camps now underway throughout Reds country. Tomorrow, Gene Bennett, Reds scouting supervisor, will be at Indianapolis, Indiana at Busch Stadium for a tryout camp beginning at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here's a pitch to Denny. Swung on, fly ball right field. Griffey drifting back. He's under, and he makes the catch. This coming Monday, the Reds will hold a tryout camp in Paintsville, Kentucky at Johnson Central High School beginning at 10 o'clock. Chet Montgomery will oversee that tryout camp. On Tuesday, this coming Tuesday in Lexington, Kentucky at Shiloh Park at 10 o'clock, Chet Montgomery will be there. And on Wednesday, June the 21st in Bedford, Indiana, Wilson Park, 10 o'clock, Reds tryout camp with Gene Bennett. And the same day at Somerset, Kentucky at Meese Middle School at 10 o'clock. And Chet Montgomery will be there conducting that one. Here's Gary Templeton, Lou Brock, ball one. Seaver delivers, Brock swings and fouls. Now, the general information that those of you need to know who are planning to attend these tryout camps, the camps are for boys 16 to 22. High school sophomores and juniors are certainly urged to attend. 2 balls and a strike on Brock. Players are requested to furnish their personal gear, shoes, uniform, and glove. The Reds will provide the bats and balls. Brock, 2-1 pitch, taken high and inside, 3-1. And all American Legion players must have written approval from their Legion coach or post commander in compliance with the American Legion rule. Brock looks at a strike, and the count goes full. We will be continuing to update you on tryout camps coming up that the Reds will be conducting throughout Reds country in the coming couple of weeks. Brock with a high fly ball, back of third, foul ground. Foster in the Cardinal bullpen. He's got a play, and he makes the catch. 2 away, and the batter will be Gary Templeton. Don't forget, All-Star balloting is now underway and will run through the 2nd of July. Be sure to cast your All-Star vote this year. Ballots are available right here at Riverfront, at all Reds ticket agencies, and at most stores where Gillette products are sold. The latest release on the American League balloting from All-Star election headquarters has come in. Templeton takes a strike on the inside corner. We'll be ticking down the leaders by position in the American League All-Star voting. This is a fly ball off the left field line and out of play. We'll be doing that in the next half inning. Right now, we're 2 outs into the Cardinals' 6th inning, and the Reds lead in this game 3-0. 3 runs, 4 hits, an error for Cincinnati. No runs, no hits, and 2 errors for the Cardinals. Seaver back behind the mound, rubbing up the baseball as he now comes back on top. Templeton has bounced a short fly to deep left field. He's behind and awaiting the 2-strike pitch. And he pops it up back of the plate. Let's see if Werner has a play on it. Donnie's at the base of the screen, makes a catch. That's the inning. 3 up, 3 down after 5.5. The Reds 3, the Cardinals nothing. After this weekend, the Reds will be on the road for 2 weeks before returning home in late June, then get set for a lot of baseball here. 21 big games in a 30-day stretch. Check out the schedule and order your tickets in advance by mail. Box seats are $5, reserved seats $4. Send check or money order payable to Cincinnati Reds, Box 1970, Cincinnati, and please include 50 cents with each order for postage and handling. Danny Dreesen leading off the bottom of the 6th. The first pitch is high for a ball. Takes that slow John Denny curve that is in for a call strike. Danny has grounded out twice, hit into a double play in the 4th inning on a comebacker to the mound. Another curveball, but this one stays up and away. 2 balls and a strike. Reds sending 7 batters to the plate in the 5th inning and scored 3 times on 4 hits. Fastball up and in, ball 3, 3-1. Dreesen hits the drive to deep right field. Way back in right, and it's out of here. Home run. Danny jumping on a high 3-1 fastball for his 9th home run of the season. And the Reds have tacked another run on their lead. It's 4-0. So Denny, hitless, baseball he threw the first 4 innings, and the Reds have now started to really zero in on him. Here's David. He takes a strike. He's also bounced out twice. Denny just starting to get that ball up just a little bit, and the Reds are making him pay for it. That's a high and inside fastball, 1-1. Check swing on a pitch inside. 2 balls and a strike. Talking about that American League All-Star voting, Freddie Patek has moved into a tentative starting spot along with 7 first-week leaders. Ball 3, 3-1. They are Carlton Fisk, Rod Carew, Willie Randolph, George Brett, Jim Rice, Reggie Jackson, and Carl Yastrzemski. Closest races involve Patek, Bert Campaneris, and Rick Burleson at shortstop. Brett and Craig Nettles at third base. Here's a high chopper to shortstop. Templeton throwing on to Hernandez. Out. 1 down. And in the outfield with Freddie Lynn and Richie Zisk challenging the leaders, Carew is a top American League vote getter at the current time with 683,427. That's the latest release on the American League All-Star results. The National League balloting results will be announced 6:30 Monday night. And we'll have the results of the latest National League balloting Tuesday night from San Francisco. Geronimo looks at a strike. Cesar started us off in the 6th inning with a leadoff single. Taken high and inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Four nothing Cincinnati. The Reds batting in the 6th. Dreesen is homered. Concepcion is bounced out, and Denny deals Geronimo a curve for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Red center fielder. Pitch on the way. Geronimo swings, bounces towards second. Phillips on to Hernandez, 2 down. Just a reminder, Ken Griffey Poster Day comes up Sunday afternoon as the Reds and the Cardinals close out this current homestand. Everybody 21 and under gets a free full-color poster of the Red Star right fielder. Donnie Werner, like Geronimo in the last inning, a base hit and a run scored. Strike is called. Well, the leaders in the American League by position, Carlton Fisk of Boston behind the plate, Minnesota's Rod Carew at first base. High and inside, 1-1. At second, the Yankees' Willie Randolph. At third, George Brett of Kansas City. Shortstop, Kansas City's Fred Patek, swung on and foul back. And the top 3 vote getters in the outfield once again, Jim Rice of Boston, Reggie Jackson of New York, and Carl Yastrzemski of Boston. Freddie Lynn of the Red Sox is 4th, so Boston has 3 of the top 4 vote getters in the outfield. Werner takes a curve low, 2-2. Talking about Ken Griffey, we've got the Ken Griffey fan club from Donora, Pennsylvania, Kenny's hometown here tonight. High and inside, and the count is full on Werner. Dreesen opened the inning with a home run to right. Werner fouls off the 3-2 pitch. Reds in front of the Cardinals 4-0 in the series opener at Riverfront Stadium. Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be Bill Bonham against Pete Vukovich. Here's a shot pulled foul to left field. Tom Seaver watching the action from the on-deck circle. Payoff again to Werner. He grounds to third. Good fielding, Kenny Reese on to first. That's the inning. The Reds get 1 more run on 1 more hit. Dreesen's 9th of the year. And at the end of 6 full, the Reds over the Cardinals 4-0. Tom Seaver works on a 4-run lead as he moves on to the 7th inning, where he'll be facing George Hendrick, first down of the Cardinal chute. And back with the action, here's Joe.
All right, Marty. In the 7th, Hendrick, Simmons, and Hernandez will come to the plate for the Cardinals. Tom with 3 strikeouts tonight and has walked 2. The strikeouts, Morales in the second inning, Denny in the third, and Hendricks in the fourth. Seaver standing down behind the mound, waiting on Hendricks to step into the batter's box. Now Tom up onto the mound and onto the pitching rubber and gets the sign from Don Warner. He winds, and his first pitch, Hendricks swings on it and pops it up. Joe Morgan calling for it at second. Waiting, and he has it, one out. One away, and Ted Simmons, the batter. Ted, 0 for 2, has grounded to short and a fly ball to Geronimo in center field. Warner out to the mound to have a short talk with Tom Seaver. Warner hangs the sign. Seaver delivers. Simmons swings, ground ball. Morgan has it out of bounds, and on to Dreesen. 2 away. Two down, and that'll bring Keith Hernandez to the plate, and Keith walked in the second, was out on a fine play by Morgan in the fourth inning. Joe going off to his left to field the hard ground ball off the bat of Hernandez. The pitch. Hernandez takes it outside, a ball. Tom into the line, kicks and delivers. Swung on and missed. Got him with a high breaking ball. Like a high slider up and in, and it's even at 1-1. Seaver has the sign. And the 1-1 delivery. Up high and off the mid of Don Warner. Count 2 balls, 1 strike to Keith Hernandez. Now the 2-1. Fastball swung on, hit off the glove of Seaver. Up with the ball, Concepcion got him. Oh, we get a break there as Tom reached for the ball. I don't know whether it hit him on the glove or on the leg, but right to Concepcion, and Davey threw him out easily. So Keith Hernandez really has been robbed of 2 base hits here tonight, but we'll take him. So the Cardinals in the 7th, nothing across. That play goes 1-6-3. And at the middle of the 7th, Reds 4, Cardinals nothing. For the Reds in the 7th, Tom Seaver to lead it off, then Pete Rose and Ken Griffey. Tom has been up twice in the game and has struck out both times. Struck out in the 3rd inning and then in the 5th, trying to bunt with 2 strikes. He fouled the ball, was his second strikeout. The Reds have had 5 hits of Denny, and 4 of those hits coming in the 5th inning when they scored 3 of their runs. And the 5th hit of the game for the Reds was Dan Dreesen's 9th home run of the year. Seaver at the plate, and he takes the first pitch high ball. One-0 delivery. Tom looks at the curve that's down low, and it's 2 balls, no strike. Outfield straight away. Then he delivers. Seaver takes ball 3. Buddy Schultz throwing in the Cardinal bullpen, and it really looks like John Denny is about had it. He is springing wet and been up with a lot of pitches the last couple of innings. Seaver looks, ball 4. That's fastball just out of the strike zone high, so Tom moves on to first base. That's the 4th walk issued by John Denny, and Pete Rose the batter. Ray Knight loosening in the Cincinnati bullpen, and he will go to third base in the top of the 8th inning. Waiting on Seaver to put on his windbreaker. Tom just now arriving at first base. Pete with a big hit in the game. A 2-run double in the 5th inning. A ball to left center field was cut off by George Hendrick, but Geronimo and Warner running. Pitch to Rose, swung on, and flying to right field, a base hit. Seaver on to second base, holds right there. So Pete with 2 shots, his last 2 times up. Hit number 6 for the Reds, and here comes Ken Boyer. And that might well be it for John Denny, as Griffey and Morgan are due up next. Ken going to the mound, looking down to the Cardinal bullpen where Buddy Schultz, the left-hander, is throwing. Mark Littell, a right-hander, heads to the Cardinal bullpen to start throwing as Buddy Schultz is called in from the bullpen. So we'll have a break in the action here at Riverfront Stadium. The Reds leading the Cardinals by a score of 4-0. We'll be back after this word. New pitcher on the mound for the Cardinals, left-hander Buddy Schultz. Buddy making his 20th appearance of the year. He has a .411 earned run average. He's 0-1 in a one-loss department. 35 innings, he's allowed 28 hits, has struck out 29, has walked 19. So John Denny leaves after working 6+ innings, allowing the Reds 6 hits, striking out 3, walking 4 runs, all of them earned. It'll be Ken Griffey, and Schultz completes his warm-ups. Kenny 0 for 3 tonight, bounced hard back to Denny in the 1st inning, grounded to short in the 3rd, was called out on strikes in the 5th.
Joe, we meant to point it up earlier tonight, the fact that the Atlanta Braves had signed their #1 draft choice, Arizona State third baseman Bob Horner, who set an NCAA record this season at Arizona State with 25 home runs. He started at third base for the Braves tonight. Bob Horner hit his first Major League home run in the 6th inning with 1 man on base in his first 3rd at-bat in the Major League.
Very interesting. The launching pad. All right, Schultz completes his warm-ups, and Kenny Griffey at the plate with Seaver at second base, Rose at first, nobody out. The pitch to Kenny, tries to bunt third base side, but fouls it off to the Cardinal dugout. Kenny hitting .324 right now, came into the game at .328. Reds leading at 4-0, scoring 3 times in the 5th, 1 in the 6th on Dan Dreesen's 9th home run of the year. Schultz the stretch. And the pitch. Griffey tries to bunt again and fouls again off to the Cardinal dugout. 0-2 the count. Seaver at second, Rose at first. No balls, 2 strikes. The count to Ken Griffey. Joe Morgan on deck. Buddy Schultz. Checking with Simmons and the stretch. The 0-2. High and inside, and Griffey has to get out of there in a hurry. The count 1-2. Outfield shaded a bit toward right for Ken. Right, the 1-2 delivery. Swung on, ground ball, and Phillips to Templeton to Hernandez, a double play. The second the Cardinals have turned in tonight. Moving on to third base is Tom Seaver. Play going 4-6-3. That's a tailor-made double play. No problems at all with that one. So Seaver now at third base with 2 away, and Joe Morgan the batter. Joe has reached all 3 times up tonight. He walked in the 1st, walked in the 4th, stole 2nd, and doubled in a run in the 5th. Morgan swings and fouls Schultz's first pitch, 0-1. Schultz working from the stretch position. Sets the 0-1. Morgan takes it just low. Down evens a ball, a strike. 1-1 delivery. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat to Templeton. Charging it short. Running through. Got him. Close play. And Ron Plaza not happy with Paul Pryor's call, the first base umpire, but it'll stand. So the Reds in the inning, no runs. They get a hit. There were no errors. A runner left on base. And at the end of 7, Cards nothing, Reds 4.
Go to the top of the 8th inning as the St. Louis Cardinals get set to come to the plate, and they'll be sending up Jerry Morales, Kenny Reitz, and Mike Phillips. The Reds scoring 3 times in the 5th inning and once in the 6th. They've had a total of 6 base hits with an error. The Cardinals with no runs on no base hits, and they have committed 2 errors. Jerry Morales up in the 2nd, struck out swinging. In the 5th inning, he bounced out to 3rd. And talking about third base, Ray Knight has now gone in at that position, replacing Pete Rose. Right-handed batting, Cardinal right fielder. Morales steps in as Seaver looks into Donnie Warner. The right-hander winds and delivers. Morales takes it outside. Ball 1. Outfield shading the right-handed batter toward right field or the other way. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on and popped up off of first base, but that'll be out of play as it drops well back behind the Cincinnati dugout. Count evens to Morales, 1 ball, 1 strike. In the Cardinal on deck circle is third baseman Kenny Reitz. Seaver readies himself for the 1-1 pitch. Morales takes it outside and low, ball 2, 2-1. Give you the pitching line on John Denny in just a moment. Here's the pitch to Morales, swung on, high chop, third base side. Ray Knight up with the ball, quick throw to first, got him at first base. Close play and a good play by Ray Knight. Ray Knight coming off the bench, replacing Pete Rose at third and being tested right out of the chute as Morales hit a high chop. Knight charged, stopped quickly, played it on the bounce, and threw a strike to Dreesen to get Jerry by a half step at first base. 1 away in the 8th inning. Here's Kenny Reitz in. Seaver to the plate, and Reitz takes a high and away fastball. Kenny on in the 2nd with a walk. He flied to center in the 5th. Seaver starts to the wind, now stops, walks down toward the front slope of the mound, and now backpedals on top of the pitching rubber. The outfield for Reitz is straight away. Seaver's 1-0. Kenny grounds to third. Knight has it with no problem. Plenty of time. Out number 2. The batter will be second baseman Mike Phillips. Seaver has gotten the first 2 hitters out in the 8th inning, Morales and Reitz on ground balls to third base. Mike Phillips has bounced to Morgan. He has grounded out to Dreesen. Danny saying something to Tom to get the pitcher's attention. Seaver now redirects his attentions back to the plate and the left-handed batting Phillips. Here's the pitch, and he checks his swing on a high fastball. On deck now for the Cardinals to bat for Buddy Schultz is Jerry Mumphrey. Seaver and the 1 over the plate. Phillips takes it high and tight. 2 balls and no strikes. We are in the 8th inning. The Reds lead the Cardinals 4-0. Seaver behind and pitching, the 2-0 to Phillips. That is low and away, ball 3. So Tom, who has not allowed a Cardinal base runner since the walk to Reitz in the 2nd inning, has fallen behind to Phillips 3-0 with Mumphrey slated to pinch hit for Buddy Schultz on deck. Seaver kicks and fires, and Phillips takes a fastball for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike on the Cardinals' second baseman. Seaver quickly back to the plate. Phillips swings and fouls off left side and out of play. Strike 2. Full count. Ray Knight had started quickly across the foul line, but saw just as quickly that he had no play on the ball. Geronimo shading Phillips a bit toward right. Foster straight away and shallow in left field. Griffey straight away and right. Swung on and a fly ball hit to left field. A routine play for Foster. That's the 3rd out of the 8th. The Cardinals are up and down in order. 3 up and 3 down, and after 7 1/2 innings of baseball at Riverfront, the Reds 4, the Cardinals nothing. Buddy Schultz back to the mound as the Reds come calling in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's going to be George Foster to lead it off. George has bounced to third, drawn a base on balls, and grounded out to third base again. The Reds leading 4-0 as attention has really started to mount here at Riverfront Stadium because Tom Seaver will be taking a no-hitter into the 9th inning. Foster slowly leveling the bat as Schultz checks in with his battery mate Ted Simmons. The left-hander to the plate, Foster with a foul to the screen, strike one. Cincinnati providing Tom Seaver with a run production, although being limited to only 6 hits tonight by Cardinal starter John Denny. Foster swings at a slow breaking ball, and he's behind at 2 strikes. Denny went 6+, allowing 4 runs, all of them earned, on 6 hits. He struck out 3 and walked 5. A count of 2 strikes on Foster with Dreesen and Concepcion to follow. Now Schultz goes to the rosin bag. The left-hander kicks and fires. Foster swings and just ticks it foul to stay alive and keep the count at 0-2. In the Cardinal 9th inning, if Kenny Boyer stays with how he would have gone, had Phillips gotten on with 2 out in the 8th, Jerry Mumphrey would be the pinch hitter for Schultz, then Lou Brock, and then Gary Templeton. Foster waiting the 2-strike pitch once again. And here it comes. Swing and a miss. Schultz struck him out with a good fastball down. 1 away. And Buddy picks up his first strikeout. Here's Danny Dreesen. He knocked in the 4th Cincinnati run with a leadoff 6th-inning home run, his 9th of the year. Danny 1 for 3. Morales back deep in right field. As left-hander delivers to the left-handed batter, the fastball is just high. Ball 1. In the 6th inning in Atlanta, Pittsburgh leading the Braves 7-2. In the 3rd in Houston, well, we can update that. At the end of 4 in Houston, it's the Cubs 2 and the Astros 2. Dreesen with a check swing, foul ball. Off third base, down around the Cardinal bullpen. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Davey Concepcion will follow Danny Dreesen to the plate. Reds leading 4-0 in the 8th inning. The pitch swung on and fouled out of play. Danny going after a high fastball and fouling it back into the upper deck. 1-2 on the Reds' first baseman. Schultz toes the line. Winds and delivers. Dreesen takes it low and inside. A fastball that Schultz wanted for strike 3 he did not get. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. One gone in the Cincinnati half of the 8th. There's a curve low and away, ball 3. 3-2 the count. The crowd here at Riverfront right now very quiet and very expectant. And looking forward to what we hope will unfold in the Cardinal 9th inning. Dreesen swings at a curve, and that's a strikeout. As Schultz got a breaking ball in on him. And with 2 away, here's the shortstop, Davey Concepcion. Davey is grounded to second, bounced to the box, and bounced out to shortstop. 0 for 3. The big blow in this game, back in that 3-run 5th inning, was a 2-run double by Pete Rose after Geronimo and Werner had singled. Seaver had struck out. Strike call. Sparky Anderson had both runners on the move when Rose lined a double to left center field, scoring both Geronimo and Werner. Pete went to third when Ted Simmons was charged with an error. The ball getting through on the throw from the cutoff man, Gary Templeton. Now Buddy Schultz walking in toward the Cardinal dugout, apparently on a very humid night, having problems with moisture on his glasses, and now being met at the third base foul line by the Cardinal bat boy to wipe him off. After that 2-run double by Rose, Griffey struck out, but Morgan doubled down the right field line, making it 3-0. Before Foster bounced out to end the inning, and then Dreesen led off the 6th inning with his 9th home run of the season to right field. That has been the extent of the run production. 2 down in the 8th for Cincinnati, nobody aboard. The 0-1 to Concepcion taken high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Buddy Schultz, in relief of John Denny, the starting pitcher, sends in the break-even pitch and took something off of it, but missed high. 2 balls and a strike. Cardinal outfield, Brock, Hendrick, Morales straight away. Davey takes low, and there's ball 3, 3-1. It was exactly 2 months ago tonight that Bob Forsch no-hit the Philadelphia Phillies for the Cardinal Club 4-0. Here's a line drive into right field, base hit. Davey with an opposite field single, the 7th base hit for Cincinnati, and that'll bring up Cesar Geronimo. Geronimo on the evening, 1 for 2. A walk, a single, a run scored. He's grounded out to second. First base hit off Buddy Schultz. David will take his lead against a holding Hernandez as Geronimo checks his swing on a curveball in the dirt. Schultz constantly going to the rosin bag. Now the stretch, the check of the runner, and the 1-0 note, the throw to first base, and Davey steps quickly back. 1-0 the count, and now the throw back to the mound gets away from Schultz, who runs over toward third base to pick it up. Davey, of course, having no intention of going anywhere at all. Schultz ready to go to work again against Geronimo. Concepcion goes, pitch is swung on, hit to center field. There's Hendrick, and he makes the catch to end the inning. So for the Reds in the 8th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the 9th inning. As Tom Seaver starts slowly back toward the mound, he gets a standing ovation here at Riverfront. Stay with us. At the end of 8, the Reds 4, the Cardinals nothing.
The time is right, that feeling's coming through. Real beer lovers know only one beer will do. Throws for the real beer lovers, throws safe like no other. Throws for the real beer lovers. Everybody knows it's the beer lovers' beer. It's family brew for over 200 years. Real beer lovers say they go out of their way for a stroll. Stroll for the real beer lovers, stroll safe like no other. Stroll for the real beer lover, from one beer lover to another stroll. Stroll. The Stroll Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Well, we're in the top of the 9th inning. As we mentioned, Tom Seaver received a standing ovation as he left the Cincinnati dugout and slowly made his way out toward the mound. Seaver has pitched 8 no-hit innings against the St. Louis Cardinals, so he will be going to the 9th inning for the 4th time in his illustrious Major League career with a no-hitter. His closest brush with a no-hitter coming in 1975 against Chicago with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Joe Wallace, who just yesterday was traded off the Cubs ball club. Wallace got a base hit. It's going to be Jerry Mumphrey to lead it off. The same man who was on deck in the 8th inning when Seaver got Mike Phillips on a fly ball to left field. Ray Knight is playing in shallow at third. The left-handed batting Mumphrey waiting on Seaver. The pitch is taken high, ball 1. Seaver does not have to worry about the score. The Reds have scored 4 times for him tonight. His 1-0 to Jerry Mumphrey is up, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 38,216 on hand tonight. And Seaver 3 outs away from his first no-hitter, the 2-0 pitch. That's high, ball 3. Mumphrey batting 174. He is 1 for 4 as a Cardinal pinch hitter. He takes a strike. On deck is Lou Brock. Seaver rocks to the wind. The 3-1 pitch is outside, ball 4. And Jerry Mumphrey becomes the first Cardinal base runner since Kenny Reitz threw a second-inning base on balls. 19 consecutive Cardinal batters had been retired between bases on balls. I don't think you could blame Tom Seaver for, at this point, being a wee bit nervous. That base on balls to Mumphrey will get Doug Baer starting to throw in the Cincinnati bullpen. Here is Lou Brock. He's bounced out twice and flied out foul to left field. He checks his swing, and that's a strike. Seaver with Mumphrey at first. Comes back to Brock, and he misses high, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Gary Templeton will be up next. Knight is even and a step or two inside the bag at third. Concepcion and Morgan at double play depth. Dreesen off the bag and behind the runner Mumphrey at first. The outfield shading Brock toward left. The 1-1. That's high. 2 balls and a strike. Seaver has walked pinch hitter Jerry Mumphrey. He is behind a Lou Brock at 2-1. He pauses, he pitches. Swung on, looped down the left field line. That's going to be a foul ball and falls untouched in the Cardinal bullpen. Foster couldn't get it. Ray Knight and Davey Concepcion going back, they couldn't get it. So you level the count on Lou Brock at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mumphrey goes back to first base. Seaver, with 5 career one-hitters, has never thrown a no-hit baseball game. He is in the 9th inning right now with Mumphrey at first through a walk, nobody out, and a no-hitter working against the Cardinals. A 2-2 to Brock. He fouls it back on a late swing. Tom has certainly not been overpowering tonight, as we saw him exhibit in St. Louis 2 starts ago when 5 of the last 6 outs were strikeouts. He spanned only 3 batters, the last being Hendrick leading off the 4th inning. He's ready now with a 2-2 to Brock. That is fouled out of play, and the veteran Cardinal left fielder, himself hoping to reach the 3,000 hit mark in 1978, as Pete Rose has done earlier, hanging in against Seaver with a holding 2-2 count. Baer is throwing in the bullpen. Seaver back on the pitching rubber. Brock out away from the plate, making Tom wait a moment longer on the mound. And now the staccato clapping starts up at Riverfront among the 38,216. Brock levels the bat. Seaver with a slow come down to the belt to pitch. And a bouncer foul toward the Cincinnati dugout and in. Tom now pacing around behind the mound as he rubs up the new baseball provided by plate umpire Terry Tata. Brock steps back in. Donnie Werner hangs a sign. The stretch, the kick, and the pitch. A fly ball hit back into left field. Foster is there. He's got it. 1 out. Seaver 2 outs away. As Brock flies to left, and the batter will be Gary Templeton, the Cardinal shortstop. This young man always a threat because of his outstanding speed. He is grounded to short, fly to deep left field, and popped up in foul ground to Werner. Knight is shallow at third. The pitch to Templeton inside. And low, ball 1. You've got speed at first base in Jerry Mumphrey, and blistering speed at the plate in Gary Templeton. It would be very tough to double them up. Seaver's 1-0 to the plate, and that swung on and missed. The fastball up and away, and Templeton could not get it. 1-1. Knight now about even with a bag at third, but creeping in slowly as Seaver comes back to Templeton. Bouncing ball shortstop. Concepcion. Morgan will hold the throw at second base as they get the force out on Mumphrey. 2 away in the Cardinal 9th inning, and Seaver is 1 out away. The batter is George Hendrick as they start to their feet here at Riverfront Stadium. Seaver 1 out away from the first no-hitter of his major league career, and what would be the 14th in the long history of the Cincinnati Reds. George Hendrick, big, strong, right-handed batter, has gone hitless in 3 times. He has struck out 1. Seaver pitches. Hendrick takes the strike. Now the crowd begins to roar with every pitch. Mumphrey has been forced at second. Templeton, the runner at first, 2 out. The strike one pitch coming to Hendrick. He swings and pops it foul, but it's going to be out of play as Donnie Warner runs to the near end of the Cincinnati dugout, and it falls back in the stands. Strike 2. There has never been a no-hit game pitched by a Cincinnati Reds pitcher here at Riverfront. The last Reds no-hitter thrown was back on the 30th of April, 1969 by Jim Maloney. At Crosley Field, he no-hit the Houston Astros 10-0. Seaver is a strike away. He stretches. He checks the runner. He pitches. He pitches high a fastball, and it's 1-2. They are standing all over the ballpark. Hendrick waiting on Seaver's 1-2 pitch. Tom sets. He kicks and fires. He pops it up, and it's going to be out of play, directly back of the plate. So Tom Seaver now a strike away from his first Major League no-hitter. The Reds leading at 4-0 in the 9th inning. Hendrick puts the head of the bat on the plate. Werner hangs the sign. Seaver with a pause, the check and the pitch. He bounces to first base. Dreesen has it. He goes to the bag, and Seaver's got it. Tom Seaver has pitched his first Major League no-hitter, and this one belongs to the Reds. Seaver is being mobbed at first base as George Hendrick bounces a routine 2-hopper to Danny Dreesen, and the 38,216 at Riverfront Stadium are standing. Tom Seaver has thrown the first no-hitter of his Major League career, the 14th no-hitter in the long history of the Cincinnati Reds, and he did it in almost routine fashion tonight. He throws his hat high over his head, acknowledging the applause and the recognition of this crowd at Riverfront Stadium. Tom Seaver has thrown the second no-hit, no-run game. In the National League in 1978, Bob Force did it 2 months ago to the very day when he no-hit the Philadelphia Phillies 4-0, and Tom Seaver has no-hitted the St. Louis Cardinals here tonight against the crowd here, a tremendous crowd, and Seaver winning it 4-0, his first Major League no-hitter, and what a ball game. We'll be back in just a moment.